G'day and welcome to the Ball Boys AFL Fantasy Podcast. Today we're talking about value midfielders, or the mids, if you will. We are going to be going through a bunch of players that we like and some that maybe have a few more question marks about them, but we're going to talk about them nonetheless. Let's go!
Hodges done it from nowhere. Lifting the goal from inside the 30. Sheed from the boundary. Dusty.
G'day and welcome again to the Ball Boys AFL Fantasy Podcast. I am your host, Mitch Casey, and you can find me on X at Ball Boys Fantasy. Joined once again by the coach of the Oxlongs, Luke Rogerson, here to talk about some more midfielders, some mid-mids, mate.
Mid-mids, that intro was one of your best, mate. I don't. You just get better every time you do it. And it was punctuated.
I know.
Punctuated by coughing up a hairball once we threw to the intro as well, which was nice.
You didn't have... That was not going to be recorded. I'd muted the mics by then, so...
You can't take a break. We got sniffles, we got hairballs, a bit of reflux occasionally gets you.
Yeah, it's all good podcast material, mate. It's all the audience wants to hear in their headphones when they listen to a podcast, I'm sure. But we've done our premium podcast recording just before this one, so if you haven't already, go and check that one out. That was posted up a couple of days ago. Today we're going to be talking about some value players. We set the line at about... Clayton Oliver was the cheapest guy we talked about, who was an 89.6 or something like that. So cheaper than 90, we'll call it, is the cutoff, I guess, for the value of the mid-priced midfielders. Obviously, you've got to cut it off somewhere. That's where we chose to do it. We will start by talking about a player that I don't think we can choose anymore. I think it is all but confirmed that he is missing the start of the season. But Will Day, if you missed the news, he dislocated his shoulder in training. The guy can't catch a break, but we can't pick him anyway. Thoughts on Will Day's injury?
Yeah, it's pretty shit. He's just a gun player as well, and so fantasy aside, we want him to be healthy, and of course the Hawks do as well. My initial thoughts were, you've got two of those, Will, but apparently one shoulder is enough to rule you out. So
yeah. So
wouldn't have happened back in the 80s, mate.
Back in the 80s, just chuck a little injection in there, keep it going,
out there,
strap it up. But I thought there was an outside chance that maybe he is back for round one, but it's not good preparation anyway. So still definitely someone we will keep an eye on when he does come back. I still maintain that last year, he averaged 90 last year, despite having one good game and 3 or 4 subpar games. There were some things that happened in that game that I think could have gone the other way, some tough matchups. He was about to come into his good run. I was very keen to pick him again this year until this injury, but he is someone who'll have to just be a trade target instead. Let's go over instead now and talk about some in-depth players. We've talked about a couple of Essendon players in the premium podcast. Let's talk about a couple of Essendon players in the mid-price podcast.
How relevant are the Dons?
The Dons, mate. They've got some things happening, some things changing or not changing in the off-season. Sam Durham, Darcy Parish. Talk to me about these boys.
Green eggs and Durham, I don't mind the look of. A lot
Where
better
the
than
eggs
that.
come from?
The green eggs and ham.
I know, but was that supposed to be Darcy Parish or just,
Nah,
just Durham?
It came in. I had to get it out straight away.
Fair
That's
enough.
how these things
I thought you were
work,
trying
mate.
to do.
You don't want to apply the filter to this. You'll lose all this great gear.
Okay.
How about you kick us off, Mitch?
No. You're going well with Durham there. Darcy Parish, I think we all know, is the more exciting fantasy scorer, or at least he has been in the past. There was that year where he just went nuts. He was polling in the Brownlow and killing it, but has really fallen off in terms of his standing in the midfield at Essendon and his scoring subsequently as well. But he's averaged 107 2 years ago in 2023, priced at... what is he priced at? In the 70s this year. Where do we think... What's the expected midfield for Essendon this year? And I'm not talking about who's there, but talk to me about splits. Who's in there and for how much? If you're starting round one...
If I'm the coach at Essendon, Jai Caldwell's the guy that's primarily in there.
Okay. And what would you give him? Like a 75%?
Let's call it a
cut?
75%.
Okay.
Zach Merritt's still playing in there. I think he and Darcy Parish fall into that maybe 60% bracket.
Uh-huh.
Setterfield's the interesting one to me because if you go back and look at last year's stats, he was almost the predominant midfielder there when he played. But what does that look like when you've effectively given the guy the boot and then, come back in? If he plays, he's going to play in there. I get that. But outside of those three, Parish, Merritt and Caldwell, I'm just not sure where those other guys sit. The thing for me is with Parish, in my opinion, I think he plays that one role and he actually plays it reasonably well. I in the past have been a little bit of a Darcy Parish hater, but to me, if he plays, even if he only gets 50%, maybe slightly less CBAs, he's going to outscore, what's he priced, in the low 70s now?
Yeah.
That's crazy for a guy that is capable of going 110 plus.
100%. And like he's always been a points per minute guy. Like he doesn't need a lot of time. That has been an issue. Like he hasn't. The time on ground has been low. But yeah, price at 72. That's it's pretty outrageous for a player that can go 30 points on top of that pretty comfortably. If in the last 2 years, if we just took his games with 60% CBAs or more, and this is the last 2 years where he's been bad, he's averaged 101 with 70% TOG. So his points per minute hasn't actually been affected when he's got the right role. It's just the fact that he hasn't had that role for big stretches. He's been nursing injuries, coming back from injuries as well. He's fallen out of favour, I think, a bit with Essendon. So to me, the question is, does he have the role? And can he keep that role for long enough for him to be useful? Like, we're probably going to need him, if we want to pick him, we want him to be there until the buys.
Yeah. The trouble is just the injury history. But he went overseas this offseason as well.
He went to Doha. Is that
no?
He
he went to Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Seems
random.
Yeah, I don't know. Baltimore. I heard he was raving about it too. So
maybe he'll be bolting more on the field.
Bro, don't come in. My joke was way better, and you cave in on it. Baltimore Raven. The Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, the Raven. I didn't even make the link.
You're telling me you're a big...
I'm not an... This is an AFL podcast, not an NFL podcast, mate.
That was unreal.
Ravens.
And you just...
It went over my head.
Well, I was waiting. We were going to insert the cued laughter, and then you just jumped in and...
Okay. You got to talk to me about these things before the podcast.
Oh, my God. It's hard to find good help these days. I hope it was Baltimore that he went to.
I did make the Raven connection. But he is someone that, if you told me this guy's going to average 70% CBAs, he's going to get out there for 75% time on ground, I would start him. I would start him and take him to the mid-season buys. I'd probably trade him out then. It's just some question marks, and I guess your opinion of, is that going to stick? Is it going to stick long enough for it to be useful? Yes, I don't know why would you choose Setterfield over him? Pretty different players, mind you. Like, Setterfield's that bigger body, and I suppose they don't really have that outside of him.
I agree, mate. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, okay.
That was good.
Welcome back to high school.
That was better than refi. It could be like a midfield balance thing, but the whole D list and then...
But they were going to go without him anyway. They cut him.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I just think it's reeks of him not being high in the pecking order.
So I want to say that Setterfield's there for depth is the reason that they re-signed him. That's what I'm gonna do. Obviously, we're gonna have to confirm that over the preseason.
Yeah, mate. Baltimore.
Bang. There you go.
On the Essendon website.
The Ravens. Okay.
Oh, now you know.
There you go. No, I do now. You just told me. Durham. What are we thinking about him? Because he's been a bit of a not a letdown, but he hasn't really shown the same fantasy scoring chops as someone like a Parish. And he also has not played like a pure inside midfield role. He's had games and stretches, but is there something that he could develop into that might become interesting from a fantasy point of view?
I don't think I think of him more as an impact player. I like what he does in there, but in games where he had 60%, CBAs, he went at 82. He's priced at 78.
Yeah.
So do you expect...
It's not that much meat on the bone, is it?
Even if you expect him to be a 60% guy, well, you've only got 4 points of upside based on what he's done. And then in the game, there was one game where basically last year where Essendon had, I think it was Setterfield, Caldwell, Merritt, Parish, and Durham, and he played 40% CBAs in that game. So I'm not convinced that there's enough upside here based on like the data that we have to go ahead and pick him.
Yeah, I think this would be more of a pick and hope kind of selection. Like his role improved last year, going from 48 to 57% CBAs, going from 75 to 80% TOG, and his scoring dropped. So even if
What do you do with that?
the role improves, it's like, okay, how much can we actually hope that this guy's going to be better? He might just be like that, you know, quintessential sort of role player or impact player, however you want to describe it. But we don't want those for fantasy. So honestly, if you were hot on a Merritt or a Caldwell, you probably do want Durham in there more than you do Parrish, because he's going to impact the scoring of those guys less.
Yep.
You know, play a bit more of that like selfless role. So for the good of those players, that's probably the guy you want in there. Parrish, I think, is a bit more of a point stealing type of a player for the rest of the mix. But it'll be interesting. I do think if I had to put a number on, I do think I would expect to see Durham in there more than I do Parrish. More because I think they're just higher on him, but at the same time, Parrish is probably the least flexible player at doing other things. So
let's take this party out west and talk about the one, the only Harley Reed.
Harley Reed. He again, I've seen his name getting floating around on some people's preseason watch list, but
I'm not convinced about this one.
He's going to his third year. He put up an identical season last year from a fantasy point of view, 67.6 in back-to-back years. Similar sort of story. Well, actually, no, opposite story to Durham. His role got worse. So in year one, he was a 70% guy, CBA-wise. Last year, 59%. Time on ground is the same. But I guess the talk is, like, obviously third-year breakout. You hear a lot. And also the inclusion back of Elliot Yeo, which we'll talk about him again in a second, as a bit more of that protector. And whether or not that, quote-unquote, frees him up to accumulate more and get more of the footy. Again, like you, it's a hard sell for me because I've never really been a fan of this type of, just improvement, natural development kind of a pick.
If we thought Richmond didn't score points,
yes.
West Coast, fuck me, they do
all-time
not score
historical
any points.
bad.
The average per player is 57. If you take the total score divided by the number of players. I think I'd divide it by with that extra player from this year, but 57, fuck me.
It's bad.
For context, Brisbane was 70.
Yes.
So it's pretty significant.
They're worse than Richmond, more than Richmond, or worse than Port Adelaide. So like they're historically bad, and they've been like that for the last 2 years.
They're real bad. The thing I've seen with Harley Reed is
they're real bad.
Just wanted to reiterate the point.
Sorry, West Coast fans.
Oh,
but we'll drive back over it. They bad.
Foot on the throat. What was I going to say? Oh, I've seen people pointing to Harley Reed, the little uptick in scoring post-bye. It's a pretty small sample size because my understanding is he only played like 5 games after their bye before. Was it an injury that...
Yeah, his last game was round 20. So, yeah, stopped playing there. Their bye was round...
So it's like an average
15. So, yeah, you've got
84?
5 games. Yeah, 84.
I don't know if it's big enough for me. Harley Reed...
And within that stretch, he had 2 games where 53 and 52. It's really boosted by 2 games where he tonned up. His only tons for the season.
Harley Reed is like a horny boy, right? He's a little horny.
He's
boy.
exactly like that. And I think those players...
I don't know if he's like Jason Hall-Francis, but I've heard rumours.
He's a naughty, naughty boy. I think
He probably is.
No, but here's
Flipping the bird.
here's that type of a player where he's impact over accumulation. And I think historically, I'm pulling this out of my ass, but those players don't have a history of like just in one season jumping up 30 points per game. It's like every year they get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better until they're sort of a 100-point averaging player. But we don't want that for fantasy. Like him getting 10 points better, 15 points better this season is not going to do us anything. Like from this price point, we need him to jump 25 points, especially in the midfield. If he was a forward, would be a bit more lenient. But as a midfielder, we need him to be 25 points better than this. And I just don't see anything indicating that I could be confident enough to do that and make that jump early in the season.
Gives away like 17 free kicks a game as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly how many free kicks he gives away. 3.2 per game, which is up from his rookie year. Frees for 1.8, frees against 3.2. So that's a ratio we've got to switch around.
That's not what we like.
No.
Okay, let's have a little peek behind the curtain and have a look at Daniel.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Daniel? Because, nice gear, by the way.
Poor Daniel.
Oh, no.
Avert your eyes.
Close the curtain.
Don't look at me.
But he's getting some hype online at the moment. There's some people that
Curtain call.
Yeah, people are liking what they're seeing.
Especially if they're looking behind the curtains.
Yes, yep.
Bloody-
See if
Some people are into that.
the carpet matches the drapes. Don't know where I'm going with that.
No,
but
that's good. That's curtain gear. That's good, mate.
curtain gear. But he had a stretch last year from around 16 to around 21, I think is where people look at. There's a little 50 in there, but he did average in a 6-game stretch, 94 points. There's some people who are suggesting that he could move more inside. He had one game where he had over 50% CBAs, another game where he had 28%. But basically he was a wing, bit of forward time potentially as well. I am not as bullish on Curtin as maybe some people are in the community. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, all jokes aside, he's actually a really good player. The trouble that I'm seeing here is, you've talked about this a little bit, when you've got a guy that's priced at that mid-60s, you want him to get off to an absolute flyer. You want to like kickstart that cash generation. He's also, in the role that he was playing last year, not only is he capable of good scores, but he is capable of the odd stinker too. And his 4-game stretch to start the year, Collingwood, Western Bulldogs, Geelong, Fremantle, you got 2 difficult games in there, 2 neutral games in there. If I was looking at that 4-game stretch and it looked like Port Adelaide's first 4 games, then this would be something I'd be like all over, I think.
You start to consider more closely.
It makes it a little bit harder when you're looking at a guy that can give you stinkers, but the role is big too, because I don't think you're going to get less of those floor scores if he's in a better role.
Yeah. Do you think there's capacity for him to be in the midfield? Because I find it hard to make that argument, because I don't think they've lost too much last year. I mean, yes, you got Matt Crouch retiring, but when he went out, the person who picked up was Sam Berry, and that was also all the same time while Isaac Rankin was playing more forward at that point. And I really have no idea why Adelaide went away from him playing more in the midfield. I think that they should go back to him playing more inside now. He's going to miss the first game or 2. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 games because of his suspension. But I don't know who's pushing out in the midfield. You've got Saligo, you've got Dawson, you've got Rankin in there for at least a little bit. Who else is in there who I'm forgetting about?
I think there's a chance, and we'll have to hit
up.
Oh,
the guy that came from GWS. Who?
Coming.
No, Peatling. Coming. He's on the wing, I think. Peatling, he's there. You've got Berry. I don't see him going ahead of any of those guys.
We'll have to talk to our man Bales, because he knows the Crows inside and out. I think Bales is in the shower at the Crows sometimes. But the thing
Speaking about hot mind curtains,
there could be an argument, perhaps, that Curtin could be long term more in favour than a guy like a Berry.
Yeah, I see that, but like you said, you need it to be from the jump at the start of the year.
Yeah, the tough matchup is more what I'm pointing to. Tough run to start the year is.
Yeah, like it wouldn't surprise me if the back half of the year, Berry's dropped and then Curtin's in there, and you see an uptick in the. He's peeking out from behind those curtains.
Watch out, Berry.
Look out. But that by that point, it won't matter to us. Like he'll have gone past what he would be usefulness wise. Let's head back to West Coast. Talk about Harley Reed's teammate Elliot Yeo, who
you are ready to get hurt again.
I am. He's cheap. There's no denying it. He missed the entirety of last season, so he's got that big fat 30% discount from a 91 average, which was his best season since 2019. So he just had a really good season, missed the entire year. So he comes in priced at 63. So potential 25-ish, 27 points of upside there. Is that enough in the midfield with a player who, how old is he now? 32 years old, injury history. Are we taking on that kind of a risk for a player like Elliot Yeo?
It's easily enough points of upside. That I don't think is a question. I think you're taking that.
I think if it was a different line, it would be easily enough points. In the midfield, it's a little bit of a harder sell for me.
I agree. These kind of players that fall into this bracket mid only is quite tough. There's no flexibility there.
He's still 10 points away from the M8. But it's better than years gone past. I'll say that. Like, years gone past where the M8 was like 108 and now it's like 102.
Yeah.
I think aside from him, that helps him.
I think a lot of things would have to go right for me to go there. But in saying that, looking at this list that we've been discussing and the players that we're going to discuss in a second, there's no one that jumps out at me as somebody that I want to go, yes, they're in my team.
He's at least done it before. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's the last time he played, he was that. So it's not like we're going back years and years. He has at least had a bit of a resurgence in his scoring. He can do it. It's just whether or not, again, it happens immediately with the price rise that we need to see early in the season. Because we could get away with Elliot Yeo doing like, I was going to say 6 but I'm going to do 7 or 8 weeks of him going 90, 95, and then you
always
ditch him.
common. Like,
I
it
know,
always
it
just
seems like the right amount, but we
Yeah.
can't do that anymore. Because we are adults with good humour.
Yeah. None of this childish
We
shit.
don't stoop to humour like that.
It's disgraceful.
But you're asking a fair bit, I think.
Yeah.
And again, spoilers alert, like the last 2 players, I'm not overly psyched about either.
Oh.
So this lends me to think
good.
that, we'll get to them. We'll talk to them. Other people might want to hear about them, but it lends me to go a bit more of a guns and rooks approach in my midfield, which I traditionally have done. Last year I didn't, and it was a fucking disaster. But also, this is to say that last year we had players like, who was the Carlton guy? I'm drawing a blank.
Hollands.
No, not Hollands.
Chera.
Like Adam Chera was there. He was a good pick around this type of a price bracket.
Peatling was somebody that...
I don't know if he paid off too great, but he kind of got going in the air, but it took him a
Oh,
while
so you're
to
talking
get
about
there.
good picks.
Yeah,
I thought
good
we were
picks.
just
Like
talking about-
sometimes we'll have those guys, like I think Will Day had the potential to be a good pick, that they were all sort of there. This year, if we're forcing to get that same type of pick, I don't feel as confident in any of these players except for maybe Darcy Parish of the players we've talked about. Will Day was going to be there, but obviously I don't think he can go there anymore.
You don't want to force it. You're right in saying that. You've got to kind of... Each year is going to be a little bit different,
Yeah.
and maybe the value isn't where it was last year, so you've got to play the ball on its merit.
But with that said, who's the next guy on our list that we can try and sell the audience?
Well, I literally... Harvey Langford is the name that you've put on here, and I haven't taken any notes. I've just said, sell me, Mitch. Because
Sell me, yeah.
It's mainly
I'll
because I
try.
was getting a bit tired.
I'll try. Look, again, these are names that I'm seeing getting discussion in the community that people are talking about, and some people are thinking that Harvey Langford's going to take a step up. Obviously, he was a rookie last year, and he played 22 games, so he played a lot of footy. And at the start of the year, he was in the midfield a lot. So the first 3 games, 55% CBAs, 59% CBAs, 23% CBAs. But then he moved more out into a wing position, which I think is a better position for a rookie to actually score. When you're inside midfielder as a 18-year-old, it's fucking tough. So I think he had some better games out on the wing where he scored some 90s, some 80s. And so the expectation with 2 midfielders out now in Oliver and Petrarca, you've got Steele coming in, there's a midfield spot open up. A lot of people are suggesting that Harvey Langford is going to be the guy that go back in there. With a year under his belt, he is a big body. Will this role be better suited for him now than it was early in his career? Priced at 63.
1 year ago.
Yeah, 1 year ago. Priced at 63. People throw around like the second year breakouts. Like we have seen in the past, like Clayton Oliver went to 100 averaging season in his second year. I want to say Patrick Dangerfield might have done something similar way back in the day. I could be way off there, but there's been notices where there's been pretty significant second year breakouts. Is Harvey Langford the next person that could do that?
I don't know, but I think it's... If you're given a full-time midfield role in any team in the competition and you're priced at 63, you have to think that you're going to put some numbers on that, I would think. The issue here for me is, you talked about it before, are Melbourne going to be really bad this year as well? Does that contribute to just making that role tougher for him? I think the reason this is a good one is because this is not going to come as a surprise round
Yes.
0 or round 1. This is going to be like, hey, we're investing in him. We're going to see it in the preseason games because he's going to be honing his craft in that role. And so we're going to get some word out of the club, I would say, hey, we think this guy's going to do this role for us. So if that happens and we like what we see in the preseason, then I think that there is a chance that we can go here, but there's a few ifs.
I'm more in on Harvey Langford than I am on Harley Reed as a young player breaking out. I think I would, if I had to pick one of them, I think I would probably pick Harvey Langford as a
price bracket too.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not. Honestly, he's not that much cheaper than Harley Reed. Harley's like 67 or something like that. Or let me double check that.
You're horrific at this.
If he's not actually, then I'll be so mad at myself because I just said that for no reason.
Hold, please.
He is priced at that number. So thankfully I was right, but we won't say that again. I just think you're going from a wing role to an inside role, so there's at least something changing there. You've got midfielders exiting the club that were scoring a lot, at least relative to the other players around there. And I don't see him quite as much as that horny type of a player. He's a bit more...
It's hard to comment on those things sometimes. I'd be careful.
All right.
It's pretty incriminating when you,
it is pretty
when you make those kind of
Hey,
comments.
there's nothing wrong, especially when, you're a teenager, like things, there's hormones going around. It's like, you gotta, it's normal. It's normal.
He's not a teenager.
He's 19.
Is he really?
He's only 19.
He's built like a brick shithouse.
Yeah, I know. He's a big boy. But yes, I think if I'm going to put all the eggs in the, breakout, natural development basket, it's probably him over Harley Reed. But I will be keeping a close eye on him in the preseason. One more name to discuss on our list. You added him in, so this is my turn to say, sell me on Ollie Florent.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to sell you, but let me talk to you about this. I feel as though there's always, for some reason, every year, there's a player that goes to a new club that doesn't get as much discussion, maybe, and that we all kind of look back on and think, why didn't we kind of see a little bit of an uptick coming there? Now, I'm not saying that Ollie Florent is going to be that guy. All I'm saying is that if there's any potential that he goes to Carlton and plays anywhere near that half-back role, anyone playing that role should be given some consideration at least, right?
Because they don't have players that can do it, basically.
We anticipate Nick Newman's going to come back and he's going to be kind of like a steady guiding factor back there. But if, a 27-year-old coming from Sydney, hasn't seen much fantasy success at Sydney, but comes into a new club with potentially a new role, given a little bit more responsibility, is there a chance that he improves? He's priced super cheap as well. What's he's priced at?
I don't know. I've never looked him up. So
it's cheaper than Langford, I would say.
Yeah, let's
go check for me. But
all right, I'm gonna find him. Florent, where are you, mate? Oh.
He's been in the past the victim of just playing not a very fantasy-friendly role at the Swans and being behind some absolute jets too, mind you. But if he's even a half-decent player and he's got a new opportunity, a new club, and if there's lots of ifs,
60
if he's in a half-back role where he's considered a distributor, maybe.
Yes.
Just this is part of my theme of throwing mud at the wall.
Throw mud at the wall? Hey, I look, I think that there's something, obviously, to new club, new environment. I think there's a fair chance that, maybe we see the career best season from Ollie Florent, and he averages 80. I just think we need more from that on our midfield. His career best so far in his 27 years is 76.3. So even if he matches that or even goes better than that, it's still not enough of a pick for me, but it's a nice name that you've thrown onto the
Thank you, mate.
Here,
Thank you, mate.
Thank you for contributing to the podcast.
The arrogance of this man. I just think that he's been at a club that values winning above all else, and he's been behind players that play potentially that role better than him.
Carlton winning is just...
I can't see a world where Carlton value winning, given that they don't do it. So
no, so fair.
Man, we're going
and halfbacks in Carlton based off pre-seasons, never led us astray in the past.
No.
Never not worked.
Locked up tight with Hollands.
Yeah. So,
I can hear all the Carlton fans unsubscribing. Sorry,
I don't know,
guys.
maybe they're about it. Maybe the Sydney
It's
fans.
in the DNA of a Richmond fan to not like the Blue Baggers.
So that is going to be where we leave it there. I'm sure there are some more mid-prices that will reveal themselves in the pre-season.
I'm just shitting all... You're bad. You're bad. I'm just thinking about me shitting all over people. Then you're over here just...
Revealing myself to everyone. I heard it the moment I said it. But I had to commit.
You got to wind it back.
Anyway,
curtain gear again.
Hopefully there will be some more options in a few weeks when we start to see some practice games and some more news comes out of the training. But until then, these are the names that we're talking about. But if you have someone that you want us to discuss in a future video, we often go back and do a players we missed podcast. So drop it down in the comments if there's someone you think that we did overlook, and we'll go back to it. But until then, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, hit the thumbs up, and we'll see you guys for the next podcast, hopefully with a game open and we can reveal our teams like talking about revealing ourselves. See you later. Bye.